All right, YouTube 64 as its current form. I've got a lot of paint on this. Firewall's done now. Frame rail was all, if you saw the video, I went ahead and used oven cleaner. Soaked it, let it sit overnight. The next day, soaked it again. Set up the pressure washer, went out there, and it's like 2400 PSI pressure washer. It did freaking amazing. So now, aside from, the mountain of dust that's accumulating from sitting and sanding and all that stuff in here, I'm very pleased with where I'm at, because I'm to the point to where the interior still needs to be done, which isn't a massive deal. I'm gonna cross that road when I get to it. But I did this door and I welded all this stuff up, so on and so forth, got it ready. And now, tested it with the 07, I think it's 06 or 07 to 2010 Honda Civic door seals. Actually fit this truck super well. And the truck, shuts pretty well. I do need to adjust it, my alignment here. So you can tell this body line's off. So I'll deal with that whenever I care, because I still have to do the interior, so the door seals will come off and all that stuff when I get to that. But yeah, man, I'm very, very happy with where that's at. The bed is done. I've got the wheel wells done. Front end of this, like I said, it's ready to go. Pistons. Unfortunately, my pistons that I ordered, thinking, yeah, I've got this used LY6, it's gonna be perfect, right? Well, I ordered 4005 pistons. Guess what? My block was like 4017. So I was like, well, if I'm gonna do this, let me have my LS2 block checked. Sent the LS2 block in that I had from a friend of mine. It's 20 over already. I was like, have them check it. Did cam bearings, cleaned up the deck, and lo and behold, I decided, why send these pistons back and hope they take them back? Because I've already cut up a little bit of the the piston pin to weight match everything. They told me I could keep the pins, send the pistons back. I said, you know what, instead of wasting my time doing that, let me pull the engine out of the Mustang. So I pulled the engine out, checked it. It is standard as it can be. I've had to hone it a little bit to get my new pistons to even work off in there the way I need them to. So there she is, ready to go. Keeping the crank in it. I got to swap cams. This has a Junkyard Dog cam from CamOcean, which is those guys right there. They're fucking awesome. Love CamOcean. One of my buddies works there as well. I've loved those guys before he worked there, so there's no bias. They're just good company. They cut cams for a lot of people. BTR, a lot of people get cams cut from them. Those companies usually use them and like Comp Cams or something like that, and maybe one other, because there's only like really three big companies that grind cams for everybody. So there's that. I'm using a cam from BTR. It's an old NA stage 4 cam for an LS1. So it's like 232, 242 on a 111 lobe with 621 intake lift and like just under 600 in the exhaust. And I'm using ported square ports for this, so it's gonna be just fine. Now, curious to see how it's gonna go. Those pistons are 6cc, the heads are milled 30. That achieves 11.93 to 1 compression. So I'm right up underneath 12, which is where I want it. I want this thing max effort, balls out, pump gas for this truck. So I'm planning this for today. Gap rings, get them on the pistons, hang the pistons and everything, get them in here, just get this entire thing done and take the oil pan today. If I can manage that, I'll be happy, and probably set it right there and then cover it, just keep all the dust and funky shit off of it so it has a place to stay out of the way. It shouldn't be in the way sitting in the truck, and I will be a happy son of a bitch. So wish me luck. Hope this was an update somebody wanted to see out of curiosity. I still have to do the driver door right there. That's coming along. I gotta sand the outside. Inside is stuff to work. I gotta actually fix the spot where the handle is for the window crank. It has a little crack, so I'm gonna address that. And then from there, I have to do the fenders. I have to take care of those. And then my inner fenders, which are, I don't even know, shit's strung all over the shop. Anyway, inner fender well, fender wells that hooked up, that come out here that your fender actually bolts to. I've already cut the inside of that out. I've saved 17 pounds cutting out what goes here just to keep that rail for my fender to mount on. So I'm really excited about that. I was super worried I was gonna cut that out and this was gonna look like shit in here, because who wants to do all this work and have no fender well covers so you can see the ugly? And now that I've got this where I've got it, like there's no ugly here. Is it factory shit and got a little bit of dimpling from you know, a little bit of rust or whatever, pitting or whatever. I don't care. It looks good. I am happy as shit with how good this turned out. I mean, everything just looks nice and clean and just, it's dusty, but I don't care. It doesn't make a shit to me. I am getting the results I was after. Hyper pleased right now. I have to do the nose, the grill, fenders, and then I should be at a stage where I can start assembling. I have to clean up 2 more rails for this bed, the ones that actually, I don't know if they're supposed to come off, but mine were. I clean those up, shoot them black, that way I can get everything in there, test fit the fuel cell, so on and so forth, because I have to fabricate that, get wood planks, deck the bed. I'm hiding the battery in the bed. It's gonna go, fuel cell itself, I gotta make a door for it. Fuel cell, of course, will go right here. The battery was, like the fuel cell was here, it's going underneath. The battery was there. I'm going to make a flap that kicks up, sink the battery down in that corner as well. So when you look in the bed, you might see an access panel for the fuel cell to add fuel, but hopefully I can get the flaps for the battery to kind of just look factory, like there's really nothing there at all. If I can, we'll see. Cross that bridge when I get to it, but I have so much freaking work left to do, and I've been so tired lately because I had a cold last week. I'm feeling better here, but like I'm still drained. Like my strength is just shit right now. Like this engine, right? This has a crank in it. That's it. I picked that thing up yesterday and I was like normally I pick that son of a bitch up, aluminum block. It felt like it was an iron block. I was struggling because like even like I'm having to like tell myself to try, and that's just not who I am. I'm usually just naturally good enough to just do this shit. You know, I'm a big guy. But man, whenever we get sick, you know how it is, guys, especially the ladies, they're like, yeah, y'all are pussies when you get sick. Yeah, we are, ladies. Okay, that's our kryptonite. You can't be as awesome as y'all. Yeah, so far so good. I've got powder coated valve covers, valley cover, front cover, oil pan, intake, and I can't wait to see what all that looks like on this bare aluminum heads and block. That's all nice and pretty. I took it out and I hit all that with my pressure washer after I had some of the oven cleaner left, shot that with it, was messing with stuff out there, and it just all blasted off nicely. I only sat on there for probably 15-20 minutes while I struggled to drag it out there and keep it from falling off of my my dolly, which you can see it still got me right there, trying to keep it from rolling off. But yeah, I'm definitely getting excited. I'm just looking at all the work I have to do. I think I'm gonna have to pull both windows out of the doors to put the new felt in, so I'm not having a rattly ass windows, because I am trying to make this to where I shut the doors and they're not rattling. When I'm driving the road, hit a bump, they're not rattling. I'm trying to make this to where it looks like it's worn and got some age, but pop the hood, look in the interior, it's like, damn, this is a lot nicer truck than you really think it is, even though it doesn't look like a pile of shit anyway. It just looks worn. So that's my goal, and I also want to be able to surprise folks. I might make as much as 630 horsepower on motor with this thing. If I can do that in this truck, driving down the road and getting on it, playing around a little bit, somebody wants to play, hopefully they'll go, damn, that full-size truck just whipped my ass. And that's just an entertainment factor. If not, it doesn't matter. I've got the Mustang for going fast. Hell, that's my wife's Trans Am. I've got my Camaro in there. I've got that truck's getting a blown setup. That's going to be in a probably a 406 cubic inch engine, all motor, 13-to-1 compression or more, 13.5. And then on the 85, at some point I'll probably do a single turbo, and I'll be making so much power on motor, I'll need like 1 atmosphere boost to double what's already pretty incredible power for naturally aspirated. So it'll probably go from like 700-ish all motor to, you know, 1400 if I, you know, hit it with 1 atmosphere. That is fucking insanity, but it's cool because it works. And I don't have to push 25, 30 pounds to break the 1,000 horsepower mark to the tire. And I kind of think that's a cool thing. So, and like I said, that's getting a blower. Up there's a full turbo kit for the 2002 Camaro. So I have 3 forced induction vehicles. I don't need this to be forced induction. It was a nitrous truck. It's gonna be naturally aspirated cruiser from now on anyway. So yeah, that's the plan with that. And if anybody, you know, there's a friend of mine's know I have that little guy over there. That's a supercharger for that truck. And people are like, well, put it on the 64. I'm like, I don't fucking want fuel injection on this thing right now. I might change my mind later. If I do, I'll probably do a Holley Stealth. So it looks like a carburetor, but it's EFI. I'm just trying to keep some nostalgia in this as far as looks go. So it'll be carbureted. If I get tired of the carb shit like I did with that car, I want EFI, but I will do something to make it still look that way. That one does have a hole in the hood and a forward-facing Lexan scoop, so I had to do a top-fed 4-barrel throttle body, and that worked out well. It's a cheap eBay deal for 150 bucks. I had to figure out to use a Ford Mustang TPS, I believe it was, but it's still wired in the same. The reference worked well, so, or it was the idle air control, one of the two. So I did that, and then so I was very pleased with it. So if I have to on this, I'll either do what I did with that, or I will do the Holly Stealth. The Sniper worked great too, but I think the Stealth is probably going to be better. Maybe I have to look in the details, so I'm not lying. But there you go, little update, a bunch of running my mouth, rambling, see what's going on. I cannot wait till I'm putting the seats in this, and transmission and wiring, modifying the fuel lines, what little bit I have to do, and get the son of a bitch wired and putting windows in it. My life's gonna be very happy and complete, and then I can wet sand everything down and get the finish on it. And I'll do an ugly before and after. So I'll show like the bullshit finish of the black, and then I'll show after it's been spray painted with a couple coats of other shit and wet sanded through. It's gonna look a lot better, and it's gonna have some character. Or in my brain it looks good, could look like shit when I'm done.